I wasn't even planning to post this, but my group chat basically demanded I vent somewhere, so here we are. Hi, I'm Sydney. I'm 29, and I live in a tiny apartment with a view of the dumpsters and a dog who thinks rustling leaves are a national threat. My boyfriend Calvin, 31, and I have been together for 2 years, apparently just long enough for someone's mask to start slipping. For context, I've got a sister, Noelle, living her best influencer-adjacent life 3 time zones away, and a mom who thinks texting me daily hydration reminders counts as parenting. Anyway, the real drama started last week, but honestly, things had been feeling weird for a while. Not in a big, obvious way, just subtle changes. Calvin started leaving his phone face down all the time. He swapped out our goofy couple selfie as his background for a picture of just his dog and didn't say a word about it. Then came the work stress excuses. He's suddenly always behind, always too slammed to hang out, always conveniently busy anytime I suggest dinner, or literally anything longer than an hour. Then I got sick. Not just a sniffle, like body aching, sweating through your shirt, full-on fever sick. Monday night, I'm dragging myself to the kitchen for juice, and he texts, "Hey, can you help me pack for my work conference tomorrow? I can't find my blue shirt." I stared at the message like, why is this my problem right now? But I said sure, because apparently I still had hope that he might, I don't know, notice I was basically dying and tell me to rest. He didn't. So there I am, half delirious, folding his laundry while he paces around the living room on a work call. I'm coughing like I've got the plague, and he's just moving stuff from one chair to another. I ask if he packed his charger. He barely looks up, says he'll use the hotel one. Then casually mentions the trip is 3 nights now, not 2. I point out that's new, and he shrugs like I'm weird for noticing. No thanks, no feel better, just grabs his suitcase, kisses my forehead, laughs, "Great, now you're definitely sick," and walks out. No real goodbye. Just text if you need anything. The next few days were a blur. Soup, crappy TV, and trying to make sense of work emails through the fever fog. Calvin texts a few times, stuff like busy day or headed to dinner, but nothing with actual detail. It felt like texting into the void. My mom offered to send me soup via DoorDash, which I accepted because I couldn't stand up for more than 5 minutes. Then on the 3rd night, I couldn't sleep, so I was scrolling through Instagram stories. I get a notification I'd been tagged. Weird because I don't talk to people much lately. Turns out it was from Kira, someone I sort of knew from college. She was throwing some pool party at a hotel downtown. I click, expecting nothing, just some random nostalgia, and boom. There's Calvin, shirtless, sunglasses on, drink in one hand, some blonde girl in a bikini literally sitting on his lap. She's laughing, he's smiling, the real smile, the one he uses when he doesn't think anyone's watching. And her arm is draped around him like it belongs there. I zoomed in just to be sure. Same watch, same dumb tattoo, same Calvin. And then more shots. Calvin playing poolside games. Calvin at the hotel bar. Calvin very much not in client meetings. I felt like an idiot. I packed his stupid suitcase. I folded his shirts. I even remembered to throw in travel toothpaste like I always do because he always forgets. Meanwhile, he was planning a whole other kind of trip. I didn't even blow up. Just texted, "Hey, are you at a pool party?" No reply for hours. I call. Goes to voicemail twice. Finally, he texts, "Super busy. Talk later." I'm shaking at this point, so I call again. This time he answers. I hear music, people laughing. He sounds tipsy. I ask if this is really a work trip or if he's just out partying. He laughs. Actually laughs. And then, like he's commenting on the weather, he says, "I'm just comfortable. Predictable. Not exciting. Filler. Not the main event. That I'm the person he comes back to when he's bored." I tried to argue. He talked over me, said it wasn't personal. Just that some people are for fun, and others are for stability. Apparently I'm the second one. But even then, he's not sure he wants that anymore. He said some people are meant for stability, and apparently that's what I am to him, the stable option. But then he casually adds that he's not even sure he wants that anymore, and hangs up, just like that. I stared at my phone until the screen went dark. Then I threw it at the wall. Not my finest moment, but it just bounced off. No cracks, just a dent in the paint. I didn't cry. I didn't even scream. I just sat there, numb, completely worn out. My dog wandered over and put his head on my lap like he knew something was wrong. I stroked his fur because honestly, what else was I supposed to do? I texted my sister, but of course, she was asleep. Time zones. And I didn't have it in me to call my mom because she'd offered to drive down with soup and tissues. And I just didn't want to explain. What really messes with me is how everything felt so normal until it wasn't. Like, yeah, there were signs, but never anything that screamed, "This is it." Just a slow buildup of weird little things I kept brushing off because I was tired, or sick, or because I trusted him. I spent the whole week making excuses for him. Meanwhile, he was off living some alternate version of his life. I haven't blocked him yet. I know I should. Part of me even wants to reach out to Kira and ask if she knew what was going on. But honestly, I don't think I want the truth right now. I'm just too exhausted. I keep looking at the suitcase I packed for him like it's cursed or something. Like it marked the beginning of everything unraveling. I want to chuck it out the window. So yeah, that's where I'm at. No dramatic meltdown, no revenge fantasy. Just this deep ache and the desperate wish to wake up tomorrow with a life that makes sense. I know that's not how things work, but I'm too drained to even figure out next steps. What I do know? I'm done being the backup plan, the placeholder, the safe choice. I don't know what life looks like beyond that, but I'm about to find out. I don't really know why I'm posting this. Maybe just to see if I'm alone in feeling this dumb. Like, is this just what relationships are now? People treating each other like options? Anyway, thanks if you made it this far. My dog's barking at the window again, so I guess that's my cue. Update. First of all, thank you to everyone who commented or messaged me after my last post. I seriously didn't expect that. I wasn't sure I'd even write an update, but a few people asked, and honestly, writing this out feels cheaper than therapy. I wish I could say I woke up the next day feeling empowered, but nope. I woke up with my dog's butt in my face and a text from my mom that just said, "Vitamin C helps." Then I opened my email to 27 unread messages from work. Life doesn't stop just because yours fell apart. I didn't block Calvin right away. For 2 days, I kept checking his stories like an idiot, half hoping he'd message me. Maybe tell me it was all a mistake or some stupid prank. Instead, he posted a photo of himself at a bar with people I don't even know. Then one of his dog. And for a second, I doubted myself. Replayed the call over and over in my head. Maybe I misunderstood. Maybe I overreacted. But then I'd remember how he said filler, like it was some neutral, even flattering term. And I'd get mad all over again. Not just at him, but at myself, for being so available. I was literally sick with a fever, packing his bag like his assistant, while he was out being the main event for someone else. The weirdest part? Everything else stayed the same. I still had to buy groceries, still had to walk my dog, still had to text my sister back about her new apartment like my life wasn't in complete shambles. When I finally told my mom, she just said, "Maybe it's a sign to focus on yourself for a while." Classic mom advice. Not super useful when your ex's sneakers are still in your closet. Then something shifted. I was doom scrolling in bed, eating dry cereal because I forgot to buy milk, and saw that Calvin had posted a throwback photo of us from last summer. Captioned, "Good times." Like, are you trying to make yourself look like the heartbroken one? That's when I snapped. His stuff was still here. His shoes, his hoodie, his annoying collection of broken earbuds. I texted my best friend Brianna, who thrives on chaos, and she just replied, "Toss it. All of it. Don't let him think he can come back like nothing happened." So I did. Started with the shoes, moved to the hoodie. Almost kept it. It's soft, okay? Then remembered him laughing at me on the phone and chucked it in the bag too. By the end, I had 3 full garbage bags of his crap. I called a rideshare and had it dropped off outside his building. Then I texted him, "Your stuff's out front. Come get it. Don't come back." Blocked him. Everywhere. Phone, socials, even Venmo, because I couldn't take another "can you send me $4 for coffee" type text. Not sure what comes next, but at least I'm not packing bags for someone who doesn't see me anymore. That was supposed to be the end. But of course, with Calvin, nothing is ever really over. 2 days later, I'm at work trying to focus when I get a ping from the front desk. Someone's here to see me, and before they even say the name, I know it's him. He's standing there in the lobby holding one of the trash bags like a lost clown. I don't know if he thought I'd be embarrassed or feel guilty, but I walked out with my arms crossed and said, "You need to leave." He immediately launches into this whole thing about how I'm overreacting, how I'm creating drama, how no one else would take him back after what I did, which is laughable because I'm not the one who lied. Then he tries to follow me back inside, and I physically stop him, hand to his chest, not hard, just firm enough to send the message. That's when he grabs my wrist, not gently. And for a moment, I just see red. I pull away and say clearly, "Don't touch me." The security guard notices and steps in. "Sir, you need to leave." Finally, Calvin drops the bag and storms out. but not before kicking it so hard it bursts open. Stuff spills everywhere. Earbuds, a sneaker flying down the hall. Everyone's staring. I just stood there for a second, then calmly picked it all up and dumped it in the trash room. I couldn't focus for the rest of the day. My wrist hurt where he grabbed me, left a red mark. I kept replaying everything, wondering if I should have shouted or done more. But honestly, I just wanted it to stop. When I got home, there was a note on my door in his handwriting. Sloppy, full of crossed-out words and half-baked apologies. At one point, he literally called me a cold-hearted snake. Not even kidding. Then added that he always thought I was too good to be interesting. Like, pick a narrative. I ripped the note up and threw it in the compost. My dog tried to eat it. Classic. I called Brianna. Her take? At least you took your power back. But it didn't feel powerful. It felt like taking out the trash. Literally. And then came the messages. A few of our mutual friends started texting me that Calvin was telling people I lost it and he was scared for his belongings. One girl I actually trusted DM'd me to say maybe I could have ended things more gently. As if he hadn't dumped me over the phone while lounging at a pool with another woman. But sure, I'm the problem for not being nicer. So I muted half my contacts, stayed off social media, and just tried to get through the week. My mom kept sending me soup recipes. My sister Noel sent memes about men being trash. The only thing that felt remotely normal was walking my dog and watching him go full goblin mode at every squirrel we passed. Then, Saturday night, Calvin called from a number I didn't recognize. I knew it was him. No one else calls anymore. I didn't answer. He left a voicemail, slurring, talking about how much he missed me and how he couldn't believe I did this to him. I deleted it without finishing it. Sunday, I got back from the store and found one of his old t-shirts shoved into my mailbox. For what purpose? I didn't touch it, just pushed it to the bottom and left it there. If the post office wants it, they can keep it. I don't know if that's closure or just me moving on the only way I know how, but it's something. And if he tries to show up again, I won't hesitate to call building security before he even makes it to the front door. If anything else happens, hopefully not, I'll update. But for now, I'm going to eat soup, watch trashy TV, and pretend none of this ever happened. Second update. Okay, hi again. I wasn't planning to post this soon, but the past week has been a lot. If I don't get it out, I'm going to scream. After the whole garbage bags and security escort debacle, yes, that is a sentence I now have to say about my life. I really thought things would settle. We'd block each other, pretend we never existed, maybe do awkward avoidance at the dog park, and that'd be it. Apparently not. The first weird moment, my mom called Tuesday morning. Not just to ask if I needed soup, but because my building's front desk called her. Yes, my emergency contact. Why? Because Calvin showed up again, super early, claiming he left his charger and asking to be let up. They told him no, obviously, but apparently he looked distressed and started pacing around, so the front desk called my mom. Now she thinks I need a panic button. I sent Calvin one final message. Do not come to my building again. If you do, I'll escalate it. Then I blocked that number too. At this point, I'm not even angry. I'm just tired. Still catching my breath. Still figuring out what done looks like when the other person refuses to let go. Up on sleep from the sick week, and I'm running on spite and pure caffeine, but it gets messier. I start getting DMs from mutual friends, some of whom I barely talk to anymore, asking what happened. One guy, Ramon, just goes, "So did you really throw all of Calvin's stuff in the garbage, like not even hi, just straight to the drama?" I said no. I bagged it and had it delivered to his door, which is the bare minimum after what he did. IMO, he sends back a shrug emoji, and then nothing cool. Then this girl, Jess, who is honestly more Calvin's friend than mine, messages me to say maybe I should give him a chance to explain, because he's really upset. I tell her the short version that he lied, cheated, and called me filler. She just replies, "That doesn't sound like him," and then asks if I'm sure I didn't misinterpret, like, yes, I hallucinated the entire phone call and Instagram story. Sure, I didn't even bother arguing, just left it on red. So now I'm getting weird vibes from people I thought were neutral or even on my side. Not everyone, but enough that it makes me second guess things like, am I the crazy ex? Did I go too far? But then my sister Noel texts me a screenshot she got from Calvin's new story. She follows him still because she likes to keep tabs. It's a close-up of his dog, and the caption is, "Wish loyalty was contagious." With a crying emoji, I hate that it stings. I hate that people eat up that sad boy stuff and don't know what he's actually like. The next thing that happens is I start noticing stuff. going missing from the building's shared mail area. Like one day my blue box of protein bars is just gone, and then my dog's new leash is opened and thrown under the table, not saying it's him for sure, but the timing is sus. I ask the front desk if they saw anything. They just shrug and say, could be anyone, but they'll keep an eye out. I'm not gonna go full conspiracy, but it does make me double kick the locks every night. I decide to actually talk to a couple friends in person because texting is not cutting it. I meet up with Brianna, who is still my ride or die, and we just vent over coffee for 2 hours. She says I did the right thing, that people always pick sides, and it's usually the loudest one. She tells me if anyone wants his side so bad, they can date him themselves. I laugh for like the first time in days, but things are still tense. The next day, I see Calvin hanging around the corner by my building, just standing there with his phone out like he's waiting for someone. I take a long way home, circle the block, and only go in when he's gone. I text my landlord and ask what my options are if someone keeps coming by. He says if it keeps happening, they'll issue a formal warning and maybe even call the cops if it escalates. Not what I want, but good to know, I guess. Then it actually does escalate. Saturday night, I'm home watching some dumb baking show, and my dog starts barking like he's possessed. I look out the peephole and see Calvin banging on my door, yelling loud enough that the neighbor's baby starts crying. He's slurring his words, and I can smell booze even through the door. I shout at him to leave, but he keeps going, says he just wants to talk. I say, go home, you're not coming in. He starts crying, then gets angry and throws his bag at my door. I hear something crash, and when I finally open the door after he's left, my flower pot is smashed and there's dirt all over the hallway. At this point, I'm done being polite. I call building management, report the whole thing, and they say they'll send out a warning letter next morning. My neighbor, older lady, super sweet, always gives my dog treats, tells me she heard everything, and if I need a witness, she'll vouch for me. I thank her and apologize for the mess. She just shrugs and says, men are exhausting. Which fair, and then as if I needed more, I get a call from work on a Sunday. Why? Because apparently Calvin messaged my old boss asking if I'd been acting strange lately, and if he should be concerned for my mental health. Like what? I don't even know how he got that number. I'm mortified. And now I have to explain to people that, no, I'm not having a breakdown. My ex is just a mess. So now I'm dealing with the fallout on every front. I've got people gossiping, Calvin lurking my mom, Stress calling me twice a day, my dog suspicious of every single sound in the hallway. I even considered moving, but that feels dramatic and expensive. And honestly, why should I be the one to leave? So for now, I just keep my head down and try to act like none of this is getting to me. The only upside is that it's made me way more stubborn about my boundaries. Like last time Calvin tried to DM me from a spam account I just blocked without even opening it. I told my friends if they want to hang out with him, cool, but I'm not going to be there. I told my mom if she wants to worry, she can send me cookies instead of panic articles about break-ins. And for the first time, I actually stood up to my landlord when he tried to give me grief about the noise. I said, I'm not the problem here, and if you want to keep good tenants, maybe help keep the creeps out. He didn't say much, but he did send someone to clean up the hallway dirt the next day. So yeah, fallout is the right word. It's not some, I thought that, was it closure? Done. But of course, Calvin doesn't do done. 2 days later, I'm at work when the front desk buzzes. Someone's here for me. Before they even say his name, I know it's him. Standing in the lobby holding one of those trash bags like some sad clown. I walk out, arms crossed, and tell him, you need to leave. He immediately accuses me of overreacting, making a scene, even claims no one else would take him back after what I did. Hilarious, since I'm not the one who betrayed trust. He tries to follow me inside, so I put my hand on his chest to push him back. He grabs my wrist roughly. I yank away and say, don't touch me. A security guard steps in and escorts him out, but not before he kicks the bag against the door, spilling his stuff all over the hallway. Earbuds everywhere, one sneaker bouncing away. I just stood there as everyone stared, then carried the mess into the trash room myself. My wrist stung where he gripped me, and I kept wondering if I should have yelled or done more. But honestly, I just wanted it over with. At home, I found a rambling, half-erased apology note on my door where he'd called me a cold-hearted snake and said I was too good to be interesting. I ripped it up and tossed it in the compost. My dog tried to eat it, of course. Friends took his side. Mutuals texted that I went psycho, that he was scared for his things. One girl even DM'd that maybe I should have let him down more gently, after he dumped me over text at a pool party with someone else. I muted everyone, stayed off social media, and focused on getting through the week. My mom bombarded me with soup recipes. My sister sent men are trash memes. Walking the dog, not barking at real squirrels, was the only normal part of my routine. Then, Saturday night, Calvin called from a mystery number. I let it go to voicemail and deleted it. He was slurring about missing me. Sunday, I came home to find one of his old t-shirts shoved into my mailbox. I didn't bother with it. I told myself maybe that was me moving on. If he showed up again, I'd call security first. But it wasn't over. Second update. The past week has been exhausting. After the garbage bag and security escort episode, I thought we'd both block each other and move on. But apparently not. My mom called me Tuesday morning. Her building's front desk had called her because Calvin turned up again, begging for his forgotten charger, pacing outside my door. She thinks I need a panic button now. I texted him one last warning. Don't come here again or I'll escalate. And blocked his new number. I'm done feeling powerless. I don't want a dramatic showdown. I just want to live my life. So I'm keeping my head down, blocking every number, and hoping for the most boring week ever. If anything else happens, hopefully not, I'll post another update. For now, I'm embracing the peace of nobody showing up at my door. Respond. Don't unblock him. Don't do anything. I put the note in the trash with the broken eggs and the orange peels. The fallout's not over. My neighbor told me Calvin was sleeping in his car for a couple nights. And someone said he tried to crash at Ramon's, but Ramon told him to get lost. One of the mutual friends texted me that Calvin's telling everyone I assaulted him, but honestly, I don't care anymore. Let them pick sides. Let them gossip. I know what happened, and so did the people who actually matter. I wish I could say this ended with me feeling all wise and healed, but honestly, I'm just glad it's quiet for once. I don't know what comes next. If you made it this far, thanks for sticking with me. Hope your week is less dramatic than mine has been. And if your ex ever shows up crying on your doorstep, just remember you don't owe them a damn thing, that's it. Maybe I'll update if something wild happens, but TBH, I'm hoping for a long stretch of nothing but boring quiet days. And honestly, that sounds pretty